I see the first one for my Celtics is Kemba Walker. I'm going to guess that the rationale is that he wasn't looking great to close out the season because of his knee thing, and apparently the knee is totally fine now. And outside of Tatum, Kemba's the guy who can have really big games. I mean, the Celtics do have 3 20-point scorers, but while Tatum, we saw him dropping 30 bombs all the time when the season ended, Kemba is the other guy who can do that. You know, Jalen and Hayward, they're not going to give you more than consistently 21 or so a game, whereas Kemba could be that guy where he could create a dynamic duo with Tatum that's really difficult to defend. And also with Kemba, it's like he can do so much off the ball. You know what I mean? Does the Bleacher Report agree with me on that sense? Well, after reading it a little bit, they do say players of his size rarely succeed in the playoffs, which I see what they're getting at, right? It's the idea of he's smaller and you can dial in on him a little bit more and you're going to be facing good defenders. I mean, the Sixers have like 7 tall defenders. The Raptors have a bunch. Then they say just ask ringless Chris Paul and ringless John Stockton. I mean, rarely succeed. Like, this guy went to 2 finals and lost to MJ, and CP has gone on several deep playoff runs. I mean, I see what you're getting at. A little mean, but it's fine. I see where you're getting at. You also call Marcus Smart trigger happy, which is not wrong, but as a defensive Celtics fan, it offended me a little bit. Any Brad Wanamaker negativity is definitely welcomed. I'm okay with that one. Brooklyn Nets Karis LeVert. I feel like I ended up saying this without technically saying it because I did a video putting Karis LeVert in the players I really want to see in the bubble. I don't want to talk about the Nets too much because they're not going anywhere, but okay. Tim Hardaway Jr. for the Mavs. That's an interesting one. Would the idea be that they need the third scorer? I mean, personally, I would have it be KP, but KP's a pretty obvious choice, so. His regular season was a confirmation of Luka Doncic's superstar trajectory. Yep, very much so. After years of being a low-efficiency shoot-first gunner on middling to bad teams, Hardaway has found a home for himself, also fair. He's 28 now? Damn, dude. You get signed twice from the Knicks and suddenly you're like 30. Hardaway has a shooting slash line of 31, 23, 64 in 15 career postseason games. Okay, I didn't know that. I guess it makes sense. I feel like this is the first time we've ever seen Tim Hardaway really be as good as you'd think he can be. Yeah, no, this is an interesting thing. Is he destined to be one of those eternal postseason disappointments similar to Eric Bledsoe? I appreciate the Eric Bledsoe shot. Yeah, you never totally know with those type of guys. Like the guys who average 16, 17 a game, and it's like sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not good. Can you count on them to be good in the postseason? We don't know. We'll have to see. Dallas's playoff situation is very interesting. If they get the Clippers in round 1, it's going to be tough. If they get anybody else, I think they definitely have a shot. And even then, do you think they still kind of have a shot against the Clippers? Like, we're entering such a weird zone for basketball that it's just like, yeah, I could see that. Why not? Also, I do want the Clippers to lose a little bit, if we're being honest, because I'm a LeBron guy. It's the way it is. I'm going to be objective when talking about the Lakers and Clippers, but I can't hide the fact that I want LeBron to get ring number 4. Gary Harris for the Nuggets. Yeah, Gary Harris has been bad for a while, at least offensively. Defensively, he's been good, and he still fits into what the Nuggets do, but his offense has just been rough, is no other way to put it. So if he's going to be good and give him like 17 a game or whatever, then that would be really cool. I mean, they have it here. The shooting guard has been trending downward for several seasons, posting his worst shooting splits since his rookie year. Yeah, all that's true. You knew some of it was injuries, but it's also been like, man, it's been a while at this point. Yeah, Denver's going to need him unless Jamal Murray goes crazy. Bob Cove for Houston, their shining trade deadline acquisition, who started to become way too big of a deal in the NBA stratosphere of conversation, I guess. The interesting thing about Houston is that they're going to shoot so many threes that I feel like anything is possible when they play. Because if you shoot 60 threes a game or something, I mean, at that point, it's not even a basketball game. It's just a math problem, you know? And sometimes you're going to end up on the right side and sometimes on the wrong side. This is something, though, I didn't really think of. I mean, it makes sense. You know, he'll serve as a rim protector and need to contest finishes from the likes of LeBron or Kawhi. How often is he going to defend those type of dudes one-on-one? Like, it's weird to say this, because, like, the Rockets, they need him and PJ Tucker and now Mbah Moute so much to defend the basket that it's like, who do you put on LeBron? I guess it's Daniel House? I don't know. That'll be something to make note of. Covington's one postseason appearance to the 76ers went terribly. Yeah, he was bad in that Celtics series. It was weird, too, because for a guy who was usually so team first and plays within himself, he was, like, really bad against the Celtics. It was weird. Oladipo, well, you know, he just decided he's not going, so everything here is a wash, but that would make sense if he was going for pretty obvious reasons. Marcus Morris Sr. for the Clippers. On paper, the Clippers own a nearly perfect roster. I don't agree with that. I mean, they're very good, and they could certainly win the championship, but they don't have any natural playmakers. They have guys who can make a pass, but it's not like, you know, there's no LeBron or Luka or whoever. And their center position's a little dicey. It's like, can Zubats defend in space? Can Montrez defend at all? Things like that. Anyway, as a result of the Clippers' excellent combination of stars and depth, sure. You could contend that if Marcus Morris Sr. decides to ball stop or take ill-advised jumper in a critical moment, head coach Doc Rivers will just bench him for Lou Williams, Patrick Beverley, or anybody else waiting in the wings. I'm of the opinion that he should already be on the bench for those guys, with the one exception maybe being Lou Williams if Lou's defense is just so bad against a certain team that you just need a big body out there. He gives the team another excellent shooter. Is Marcus Morris an excellent shooter? He can be. He's streaky. Solidifies its defensive front against LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Los Angeles Lakers. Again, I don't think Marcus Morris is some awesome defensive player. He's a big body who occasionally plays hard, but okay. In 12 games with his new club before his average. Yeah, I mean, it's 12 games. I wouldn't freak out too much about it. If he rediscovers the magic that made him such a valuable role player for the Boston Celtics. Was he magical for the Celtics? He hit some big shots when they needed him to without Kyrie and Hayward, but that second year, I'm still of the opinion that Marcus Morris was a negative. I don't care what his percentages were. He was taking shots away from other people. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Marcus Morris is that good. I mean, I got to be honest. I think his stats look okay. I think he can have a good game. But the ball stopping, which they do mention, to be fair, it's not like they're not knowing about that stuff. And I don't know. Don't love him. But do I think it's a fair pick for an X Factor? Yeah, that's kind of the point of this thing. You know, a guy who could be good, could be bad. Danny Green for the Lakers. Okay. Danny, not his best this season. He's been good. He's still a 3-and-D guy at the end of the day. Still a great transition defender and all that, but not super awesome all defense plus 40% from 3 Danny Green. So, okay. I guess that one's fair enough. Iguodala for Miami. So, Miami, I'm going to be honest, I don't think Miami's that good. I like them. I think they play the right way. But I think when it comes time against a really good playoff team, I think their lack of scorers, even if their offense is good, but they got one guy who averages 20, and Jimmy averages like right at 20 points a game. The rest of it is, well, let's just see what they got to say about Iguodala. Andre Iguodala may be washed. Yeah, it's very fair. His regular season stats have been declining for years, also fair. But we have seen when the Warriors needed Iguodala to lock in defensively as a one-on-one guy and not be horrible from outside, make a couple plays with the ball in his hands. He managed to do it. But he's also not playing next to Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant anymore, and Draymond Green. So we'll have to see there. Yeah, I don't know. Miami, maybe I should do a video on Miami and just think about how good they could be in the playoffs. But I think Miami is another scorer away, like a real scorer, not Dragic at 15 points a game, from being really interesting. Eric Bledsoe for the Bucks, yeah, this is the only pick for them. I mean, we've seen him play like crap 2 postseasons in a row. The thing with him, too, is it's like, okay, like, it sucks that we're just going to have to lower our expectations for you, but at the most, could you, yeah, there's no more obvious pick here, very true. It's just like, can you at least bring it defensively? You know, can you just hound ball handlers, fight over screens, and just do all that stuff so well that your presence is still felt in the game, even if your jumper isn't going in or whatever. Now, of course, Bledsoe's still going to have to do something off the dribble and all that stuff, but, I mean, if we already assume that you're just going to suck, then, like, do something else, like, just lock in defensively or something. Is there a replacement for Bledsoe on the roster? No, in terms of his ball handling, but, like, DiVincenzo would probably be the guy they go to. Like, you can make that work, but it's certainly, you do lose a little bit of the ball handling, but DiVincenzo's been good enough that could be a thing. Steven Adams, OKC. I want to read this one, because I don't know what the obvious choice would be for them. The fact that Steven Adams remains integral to a playoff team's success is surprising. It is a little bit. Centers usually aren't this good anymore, unless you're awesome on offense. But, you know, Steven Adams, screen setting, offensive rebounding, things like that. The Kiwi, that's his nickname, I totally forget, is still a rather traditional center. 59% of his free throws this season. Is that what it is? For some reason, I thought he wasn't horrible on free throws. Adams has been a solid perimeter defender this year. Yeah, I mean, most of this is just standard center things, which is fair. I mean, can he defend the pick and roll? Can he do whatever else? I think that's fair enough. I guess who else would be a choice for OKC? I mean, yeah, I guess maybe Steven Adams is the dude. Aaron Gordon on the Magic, I don't care. I mean, I don't blame them for putting them in here, but it's fine. We can move on. Horford for Philly. Yeah. The thing with Philly is they could still be amazing on defense. You know, Embiid and Horford theoretically is the best frontcourt defensively in the NBA by a wide margin. Hell, it's theoretically still the best frontcourt in the NBA, period, if Horford was bringing all of his stuff. But at the power forward position, going up against quicker guys, having the ball a little less on top of being a year older, you know, it can happen. But it is something to remember. Horford's contract with Philly last summer was considered a smart move at the time. Yeah, we all loved it. We all acknowledged that it made the team weird, but we were all like, yeah, it gets him off the Celtics, he can fit into the power forward spot, he can play backup center so that they don't suck when Embiid's not in the game. Like, all of it was there. And then we see him and it's like, oh, he's not really a stretch four, and it got rough. And we'll see if he comes off the bench or not. Nurkic for the Blazers. I mean, I see what they're getting at, but I just feel like Nurkic isn't going to be that good just because, well, I don't know. Like, how close was he to coming back? It wasn't that long before he was going to come back with the season not ending, right? And then, you know, with 5 months past now, potentially it would be fine for him to be good. I don't think Portland is going to do more than get past. They're not going to get past round one. So in that sense, how much do we really want to talk about the Blazers? But, you know, it's worth speaking on, I guess. Marc Gasol for the Raptors. I love this one. If you're listening to some podcast, it seems that NBA coaches believe that Marc Gasol is still the best defensive player on the Raptors. He could be. It certainly doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but his fundamentals on defense are Maybe the best in the league, if we're being honest. I mean, might be a couple guys, but he really is that good. Yeah, I like this one. His passing, his screen setting, his shooting, his occasional post-ups, even if he doesn't do it like that at this point. I mean, if Marc Gasol is still going to be able to defend pick and rolls, defend the low post, if they run into Philly or something, and he can be a rim protector against Giannis and whoever else, then that's going to be huge, and it could lead to the Raptors getting back. It certainly can't hurt to have a former Defensive Player of the Year in peak physical condition. Yeah, oh yeah, you guys seen the thing about him losing weight? Marc Gasol was never this slim. Now, according to Chris Vernon, it's more like lighting and stuff than it is actually losing weight, so we'll have to see. Jazz, Mike Conley. Yeah. Yeah, Utah's kind of screwed now. If Conley's not going to be good, and then they lost Bogdan, then they might not do too hot in the postseason. Yeah, that's it. Bleacher Report X Factors.